Hi, welcome to the Tiago Show. And before I was really thinking about what direction I wanted to go to, what did I want to do? You know, when you're a person, I'm a person that cares for a lot of people. Let me just spit it out. Let me stop trying to take the roundabout way. I have always cared for people. I have that has been my life. Like, since I've been a child, I have been reading the room. I have been caring for people. I have been worried about how people feel. I can tell when there is a change in the room. Some people can't pick that up. I have loads of empathy because I had to be empathetic. Now, when I was growing up, there was a time in my life, like in my mid teenage years to probably my mid 20s, when I decided that I was going to choose me. My whole life, it felt like no one chose me. Like, and I don't mean like, oh, love me or whatever. I just mean as in care for me. I have been caring for people, caring about people, going out of my way to help people, make sure that they're not inconvenienced, make sure they're not homeless, make sure that make sure they have food in their mouths. And I have literally went without, now, not during the same time period. Like, I'm not going to take food out my mouth to give it to you. But later, when I needed these things, no one was there to help me. And I think a lot of it is because I never chose me. Right now, I'm in the position that I'm in because I don't choose me. I feel miserable. I feel horrible at times. I have never gave me the opportunity to say, I need to heal. I need to choose myself to take time off. So this is what I'm doing right now. I am finally giving myself the opportunity to choose me. And it seems like every time I'm about to make this momentous decision to choose me, something happens. And I remember, my grandmother passed away a couple years ago, and I got an inheritance. And with my inheritance, I bought my lovely baby that I have driving in right now. And also, I made a down payment. I should have just bought it. But also, I was able to, I gave myself a deadline, and I said, on this day, I'm going to start my business. And you know what? My mom had a stroke the day before. And you also know what? I should have said, she's in the hospital. She's fine. She's a grown woman. And I need to still start my business. Some people would have said, oh my God, that is just so selfish. But you don't understand the relationship between me and my mom. I have cared for my mom as an adult. When I became 23, before I had my daughter, I was caring for my mom. We lived in the same home. My mom had no job. She didn't work. I went to school in the morning and I worked at night. I worked from 11 to 7 in the morning. It was an hour ride back to school, or hour ride back to home from work. I carpooled. So my lovely Miss Lynn would take me from work, drop me off. I'd sleep on the way, because by the time I got home, I would hop on the bus and go off to CTC. And I was doing phlebotomy. I wanted to be a certified phlebotomist, and that was a 6-month program. And from there, I would probably go give plasma, because I happened to get on housing. Thank God. At that time, I was so excited to finally get on housing, and but I wasn't on food stamps, so I was like, whatever. I would have loved if my mom would have helped me at that time and go on food stamps. I mean, schools, financial aid, whatever money I had left over from my financial aid, I would it would go help pay the bills and whatnot. But as in helping me, no. My mom did not help. My mom did not help me financially. After I had my daughter, I did not want her in daycare. I mean, even though I could have got free daycare, She could have got on, what is that called? I forgot what Oklahoma calls it. I forgot what they call it, but free daycare. And because I was already on housing, and she was on, I forgot what they call it in Texas, but she was on Medicare, whatever. She was on that. Then, so I should have just did that. But no, 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 no. I let my mom watch her because my mom also did daycare, and she was watching another girl's kid in my class already. So I'm like, might as well. What big whoop de woo. And after years, my mom lived with me until like for 3 years at that point. Then my mom decided that, or my grandparents called my mom and said, hey, how about you come to Oklahoma? She's not doing anything. I'm taking care of the bills. And I'm in a roommate situation by then. When we first moved in together, it was just me and her. Then the house we were staying in got foreclosed on. So then we moved to my aunt, which was, baby, that had some story time money in it. So, because that trial and tribulation and turmoil, and that wasn't the first time we lived together. That was the second time. So, I moved to my aunt's house, and, well, because the bank got foreclosed on, or because the house got foreclosed on, they gave me like, I think $850 in 60 days to leave the property. And then, like, in early, what was it, like 2006? Yeah, 2026. You can find a place for $600 something, but the problem was that I didn't have money for a deposit, and application fees were something that was just coming out, but they were like $5 or $10, but not every place had those. Oh, the times. And so my mom moved me to my aunt's house, moved out with me from my aunt's house, and I got a roommate. She stayed with me. She had her own bedroom. I paid extra on bills. And it's me and my best friend at the time. We're the same age. We're in our early 20s, and my mom is there. And yeah, so what? I have a daughter. Yeah, but that don't mean I couldn't take my daughters where my mom was at when I wanted to go out to the club, or when I wanted to have a house party. So then at the end of the 3 years, I decided, my mom was like, oh, I'm going to move to Oklahoma. I said, well, that's great. How about we gave up where we were living at that time. Me and my roommate pretty much had it with each other. And my mom was sleeping on the couch because we did not have a room. She was not supposed to live with us. And in the beginning, she didn't live with us. She lived with so we had a cute little 3-bedroom place in a small town. And my roommate was worried because she never had lights or electricity or whatever in her name, and she wanted to build up some renter's credit. So I was like, cool, the next place you find it, and you can put your name on the place, and you can have your name on all the bills, so you can have that credit, I guess, built up that she wants. And so that's what happened. Well, multiple times she would hardly check the mail. Multiple times electric bill came in, lights got cut off, because she didn't realize the red paper meant disconnection. It's something called read the bill, and she would never post the bill. So we had to start checking the mail. I mean, it was a hot mess situation with that. And then when we first moved into this two-bedroom single wide trailer with holes in it, my mom was living with my uncle, and my uncle had a fiance, and my mom would help clean, help do whatever. But I guess his fiance was not happy, because when my uncle would get home, my uncle and my mom would stay up hours talking. Of course, they're brother and sister. They were talking about like life and what they want to do, and she was getting jealous of their relationship. This is what I've been told. So then apparently something needed to get fixed in the house. The landlord came in, and I guess she dry snitched on my mom or my uncle. Needless to say, my uncle said that the landlord knew somebody else was staying there, and it was only, I think, it was a 2-bedroom house, but only 2 people name was on the lease. And if somebody else was going to move in, he would need money for whatever. So my uncle was like, your mom can't stay here no more. After like 3 months. So then she moves back in and she moves on the couch, like I said before. And I'm just like, okay. And so we stay there for about a year, I think, or not even a full year, I don't believe. And then my grandparents tell my mom, hey, how about you come up here and we'll buy you a house? Then, awesome. I'm like, okay, well, I'm working this job. I get laid off. And I'm like, well, I'm 23. I want to go back to school for nursing. This is great. How about you take my daughter for a couple of months so I can finish a year or a program where I can just actually go to school and work and get a diploma or something like that, and then be able to come up here and be a nurse and start over again. That did not happen. When I say up here to Oklahoma, so that did not happen. So we ended up moving in with my aunt. I stayed there for a bit, and then I came up here to Oklahoma when my grandparents when my grandparents moved into their new place. So July, I think it was 2026, 2027, I moved to Oklahoma. I've been here ever since. I have, traveled, but I pretty much have been here. And I was here for about maybe 4 or 5 years. And then my mom moved up. And she lived with my grandparents for a little bit because my grandmother had hyperbaric surgery and she needed help. And she asked my mom, did she want to move up here to help her through the surgery and she would take care of everything? My mom said yes. She quit her job and came back up here to Oklahoma, which she loved her job. She did daycare and she was down there with her best friend. Anywho. So then after my grandmother was done with her surgery, my mom wanted out the house and she came to live with me. But my mom was doing the same things that she did when she lived with me the first time, such as not much. My daughter didn't need a daycare because she was in school full time. She wasn't help cleaning. She wasn't help cooking. She wasn't help. And I was like, well, at least she can help me keep the house clean because I have a 10-year-old. I am gone the same time she's gone. And when I get home, I cook and I just want to veg out and not have to worry about cooking and cleaning and running on. My days off, yeah, I'll do that. But like washing clothes, you can do that because you're at home. Or, hey, starting dinner, I can finish that when I get home. Things did not happen that way. And, yeah, this is a long video already. So, let's do the part 2. All right. Part 2. So things did not happen the way I thought they were going to happen. My mom moved in. Maybe I had a delusional kind of memory or mindset because when we lived together before, my place was always clean, but also my daughter was a baby. She didn't require much. And it was just my mom. So my mom would probably have minimum footprint. Like whatever she got dirty, she would wash the dishes and that'd be it. But if there were dirty dishes in the sink, she would not wash them. I understand, but also you're not paying anything. I am buying your food. I am paying for the rent. I am having the electricity, everything. And then I'm coming home and cooking for you. And then I'm turning around and washing the dishes, the pots, and the pans. So I wrote my mom a letter because I didn't know how to speak to her. I'm from the generation of girl, this is grown folk business. So I wrote my mom a letter telling her, I don't know if you're lazy or you're depressed. And she got so fucking mad. She was like, I can't believe you're trying to sit here and you're psychoanalyzing me and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't know. I was like, I think I was 28 or 30 at the time. I had no idea on what was wrong with my mom. Like, someone you care about that. But my mom has kind of always been this way, but now that I'm adult, I can say, hey, what's going on? Like, why are you like this? Like, I don't understand. You are such the most distant person. Like, when you say a man on the island unto itself, that is her. And I know this video talked about choosing me, but this is where we're at. This is how I am. I have been so intertwined with other people that at that time I should have chose me. And you know what? I did, because I told my mom she couldn't live with me no more. But I did not understand why she was the way she was. And maybe she understands the way she is, why she's this way, and just explain it to me. Like, maybe I just don't understand. I'm trying to find leniency and I'm trying to find grace, but if you don't give me that grace or that leniency, what the fuck? Like, how am I supposed? And I've already put it up since I was a child to about 26 or 28. This is what I've dealt with and done with. So I don't know. So then she was back with my grandma, and then my uncle comes up here, the one that she used to live with, and my grandparents are like, they got to get out of our house. We have our two oldest living in the house with no intention to move. We got to move out. And at this time, I left dialysis because when I came up here, I ended up going to school, got a job in dialysis, was in it for almost 10 years. And my aunt, the one I lived with previously, many story times on that one, she was working at the American Red Cross. So I applied, my mom applied, and my uncle applied, and we had a gaggle of McCoys at the American Red Cross in one office at different times. So at first I started at night, which I hated because my daughter was a teenager. But anyway, so then my grandfather convinced my uncle, who's a Navy vet, to use his first-time buyer's loan or whatever, not first-time buyers, but to lose his VA loan to get a house. Because he said, if you're not going to go to school, why don't you use it to buy a home? And then my grandfather's idea was, how about we move all in together? Because multiple times during when my grandfather was alive, he tried to buy group homes for us. And I was either trying to get him to help me put a down payment on a home, or he was looking for a home for a multi-group home, so he knew his kids would be fucking set up. Even me, I'm the grandkid, and he's trying to set me up in a house, and I'm like, awesome. So he's like, you know what, this is better. You can use your money, you can get your mom, I can get my son to get his sister, and then get his niece and his great niece. They can all be in one house, and I know everything's okay, and they help pay the mortgage. So that's what happened. So now me and my mom are somewhat living together, but not together. It is quite different. She has her own room, I have my own room, we're rooming in the back, and it's just a completely different, better situation. Then from there, my grandfather passes away. Then my uncle moves out and stays with my grandma. Why? Don't know. That's another story time. I have so many fucking story times. Oh my God, I should write. Okay, anyway, so then we're taking care of his home. And then it kind of comes back to the mom situation again, because my mom decides to quit. She's been working at the Red Cross for, I think, 5 years at this point, because I worked there longer than her. And she decided that she's going to quit. She says she has money saved. And I asked her, so what is your goal? To find out, by the time she's telling me that she's quitting, she's already been off the job for a week and a half. Because my manager comes to me and she's like, oh, she said, I just need to check in with you. I need to talk to you before you get out of work today. I said, okay. And she said, so how's everything going at home? Because we're working from home. It's during a pandemic at this time. And I'm like, everything's going fine. And she was like, well, your mom quit last week, and I just want to make sure that everything's all right with you, that you're not deciding to quit, because you know how all of y'all kind of came in at once. I don't want, all y'all to kind of leave at once because your uncle's on leave. Did not know that. Then I was like, oh, because after my grandfather died, I got ample time off. And it shook me, oh my God, but I did have ample time off to rest and relax. But did I choose me? No, 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 surely I didn't. That's another thing. So, so now I'm stressed about my mom because she has limited resources. You decide that you're not going to work no more. And we've known that this is a trend. You'll work for a little bit and then you say you won't work. So then my grandmother passes away a year and a half later. My uncle at this point is, I guess, in complete head first in depression. And he's like, you know what? I don't want to live with me no more. Y'all gotta move. Within 2 weeks after burying my grandmother, we were looking for a new place to live. While she was in hospice, the many times throughout her hospice journey, or 3 times throughout her deterioration, she was in hospice. And he told us one night, I need you to move out. Someone that we collectively known as her mother, you want to move out. So, okay. So then, once again, me and my mom end up in a situation where we're going to have to be roommates again. They were taking care of my grandma. They had to tell my uncle, hey, y'all, I can't take care of my mom because I have to get a job because I have to move out. Because now application fees are a thing. 3 months worth of, you have to be able to make 3 months worth rent, first and last month's rent, and your deposit. So now something that would easily be like a $500 home, because inflation and markups and it can easily be $1,600 of trying to move into a sleazy house. So we move out and then we're back living together. My mom happened to get her inheritance, so we pay, my mom and me, so we pay rent in bulk. I'm still working until I get fired, and then a couple months after that, that's when my mom has her stroke and I don't choose me. This whole time, I feel like if I chose me and not choose my mom, and not talking, and I have not even listed the various roommates, family members, and everyone that has lived with me. I have just talked about my mom. But just within that 40 something year, no, I would say probably 20-year time frame, if I probably would have chose me and told my mom no, she probably would have had stronger legs right now. Because I would have had to force a grown-up to be a grown-up. There's many times I have chose me, but it was after the fact. And I hate that this version of me that I'm looking at right now has to remember that you have to choose you. Honey, ain't no one gonna save you. If you're watching this and you empathize and you have listened to the end of this crazy story, and to me it's crazy, but to you, you're probably like, yeah, I take care of my uncles, my aunts, my siblings. No one's saving you, baby. You need to choose you. You need to wipe it out your eyes. You need to realize that no one's saving you. No one's going to choose you. These people expect you to take care of them. These people have grown accustomed to waking up, having a fridge full of food, to having a bed to sleep on, to having clean sheets, a washer and dryer, lights, electricity, air conditioner, water, bottled water. These people, if they're not helping you some way, they're never, ever, ever going to choose you. And when are you going to choose you? When are you going to say, what about me? When are you done crying, talking about when is it my time? Girl, it has always been your time. Your time has not went nowhere. It just all depends on what you have chose to do with your time. And if you have chose to take care of other people, that's not bad, baby, but now it's time to choose you.